Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, the 11th day of February 2018. My name is Derek. Everything's within your own risk, own reward. I'm going to be talking about Litecoin and the Litecoin Fork. And within the Litecoin cross with the US dollar, I talk about 4 different stages for reversal of trend. Stage 1 is for this band to flatten out. And well, that's barely been accomplished. The 18 average of lows is flat. The 18 average of highs, well, it should flatten out there soon. So anything in a range of 135 to about 165 even, that $30 range would be neutrality. When you see price action anywhere falling below there, especially if it can stay and hold below it, test maybe 120 or below and stay below that number, then there definitely would be concern or probability odds to increase rather for price action to come down and maybe test the area between $85 and down to 70. That would be where I would project if that happens, and that's obviously the keyword if, because the polar opposite for trend analysis is true with the 18 average of highs. If it can get and hold, stay above it, price action find some sort of support somewhere near 170, is able to test a resistance level, which would be stage 2 of the reversal of trend. And I would like to see it somewhere around 200 would be a effective thing. A price move up to 2, maybe come back down somewhere in the mid 170s, which would meet up with the 18 average band, or the low 170s even, and then have further gains from there. That would be the best way on a technical analysis level for it to bring into that of the reversal. When we look at this crossed against Bitcoin on the daily chart, it continuously remains up at the major resistance level, which was first established after several days of its move from 0.005 up to 0.02, a 4x gain almost. After this first sell-off, which is very common, and at this stage, when you have a sell-off like this, you have a thin amount of bids because these were only bids that were added the last few days. Whereas these sell orders could have been sell orders added for like over a month. So there's a lot more sell orders that could have arrived on this uptrend than buy orders on this down move, is basically what I'm pointing out there. However, the key point is this resistance, and after this move down here, it spent about a week or so resisting this level before this move on the Boxing Day, the 26th of December, which brought it back down to, well below where it was supporting before, and then continued down action. On the date of the 6th of January, it came close. It resisted that level. I guess you could say the same thing about the 14th and 15th of January. So 3 different occasions, 2nd of January, 6th of January, and even the 14th, where it resisted this key area of support. Well, now it's doing the same thing again. It's resisting it, but it's also staying there compared to those last 3 dates mentioned, holding above this 18 average. This is a beautiful setup overall. That doesn't mean it's going to go, but it also means, as far as probability odds, that it's probably more favored to have a decent size up move than it is a down move, even though there's a lot of gap fill here. But if we look at what I mean by gap fill, we just even look at this as a longer term time frame. What it means is, well, after you have, say, a decent down move here, you got all of this area, it's going to have to test at some point, which it did on this rally. So after it moves higher, you got all of this room in here, which it did hit down in here. So you've had the rally from this point in here. I mean, you've had a comeback to the 133 handle, so you've had a level of support. And within this chart analysis, as it's shown, just on the weekly chart, like 4 or 5 weeks where it was supporting the 18 average of highs, and the last week it broke above that level. It stayed well above the 18 average of highs, so that's a very bullish statement. to say the least, within the sideways action. And the amount of orders that could be filled quickly in here, that when you break key levels like this would be, it would only be interesting to say the least, because it's very predictable that big moves happen in situations like this. How big, of course, this 0.02 handle is, because all of these resistance tests I talked about in the daily time frame only represents this move in here, because you got the larger 3 resistance tests before, which when it happened in the spring of last year, the summer, and then again in the late summer, it had large red candles down 1, 2, 3 times over when it got there. This time, not the case. So that's what I like about such. Now I want to talk about the fork for Litecoin. I've even heard people saying that this, for the first time ever, that Litecoin is going to fork. No. Litecoin Gold, LTG, they have a total supply of 84 million, which is what Litecoin has. And it's priced in at about 60 or 71 Satoshi. From my calculations, on a 1-to-1 fork, I would need the price to be 50,000 Satoshi against Bitcoin for me to make it worth my time to want to do such. Anything lower than that makes it, yeah, man, we get something, but not much. And of course, getting 10-to-1, I can divide that by 10 and say 5,000 Satoshi in the Litecoin Cash case. But this one's a little more popular. People are talking about it. I'm confused to why this would need to be done, but I guess they state they have some reasons that people may find attractive. Thing about this is they want your private key, which, if you're talking about exchanges, don't even consider it. You're not going to get it. And whether they will do the fork for you, Bittrex did with Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Cash. Cryptopia did with Bitcoin Cash. They did not with Bitcoin Gold, and announced they're pretty much never going to be doing those forks really again without any plan, so I doubt they would. I haven't heard any announcements from any exchanges of any sort within the manner. Within hardware wallets like the Nano Ledger or the Trezor, you're not going to get the public keys on there. I guess if you put your 24 key code in, that could do it. But what I was hoping I could do with those things, and I guess I can't, is make a new public key for whatever, in this case Litecoin, and then hope that public key and get a private key only for that wallet, because the idea would be to take some sort of wallet. I'm going to give an example of Jax. This is my wallet that I just created, and I sent 2.13 Litecoin over to such today. So I could get a private key with this site. I've already seen how to do it. So therefore, what I would do is I would put my Litecoin on a site like this. I want to talk more about this after I'm done, though, because I'm really curious about this site, or this download rather. And then after the fork is done, you would then go to send it to where you want. Basically, send the max button. I hope that max button works with the fee, but anyway, that's basically what I would do. Send it to where you want it to, like back to your Nano or Trezor wallet as an example. It's there, and then when you're able to download a wallet for Litecoin Cash, you enter the private key for this. How that would work is, at the time of the fork, it's going to see how many Litecoin you had at that point, and then basically you'll get 10 times the amount of Litecoin Cash. Probably you would move that to some sort of exchange, and I would probably sell it all immediately on the market, most likely. I look at it as like a dividend, but is it a dividend worth taking? That would be what I used to would say the $1 million question, but we'll say the million Satoshi question. Might be another better way of saying it. Another one, I just went to the actual Litecoin site itself. A Litecoin core wallet. Now what it's doing, and I remember seeing this on the a video explaining this wallet, is that they synchronized the wallet, which is what it's doing now. Progress, a little over 35%. And number of blocks left, so it's synchronizing the wallet. What concerns me about this, and what's just a scary thing to say, is, oh, what a beautiful idea to take all of my Litecoin, and I have several of them on my hardware wallet, move them to a less safe outlet for a day or two, and then bring them back. That doesn't sound too appealing to me. I've heard pretty poor reviews from Jacks. And it really, maybe it's because they're working within the Shapeshift exchange, and I don't have any plans of doing any of that. Because all I want to do, send it, hold it, and then send it back. Is it possible, for what I'm thinking, if I send Bitcoins here, will they not show up? If I send them away from here, will they not show up again? Or is there a chance with these wallets they could just somehow within the software take it from you? Those things are the things that concern me. I don't see how they could. And I know the reason for why you want to have hardware wallets is so any type of hacking that goes on can't be done. But it is very much to me, it's a relatively scary situation on how you want to approach the situation. Especially when you are taking your coins off of exchanges, because sites like Bittrex, 0.01 Litecoin fee, I mean, it's not that expensive, but it's still about a couple of dollars to send them out of there. And you're going to get a decent amount back in LCC. Well, that's all going to be worth it, I guess. There has not been a major influx of people wanting to get in as far as since this has happened. The market conditions really haven't changed that much. And I'm in a situation when I look at Litecoin that I just happen to be watching like other YouTube videos. An example would be this video from Decentralized TV. Litecoin added to major payment platforms. Also, Litecoin is going to be more easier to use as money, and it's actually something I enjoy using as such. I look at this whole Litecoin Cash and Litecoin in general. I don't think it would make, I don't think you can get too much over it. However, I still think it's free money. As long as these exchanges I talk about or the other wallets, you're able to get be safe with them. I don't know if I should want to do it because it's a very difficult decision when you have hundreds of them, if it's worth doing. And then I've heard a lot about Charlie Lee. He sold all his Litecoin. You know, I've never believed that, actually. I think that if he's telling the truth, the word all means a lot, or one portion, like one investment size share. I think he's got more than me right now. I'd be very surprised if I had more Litecoin than Charlie Lee does right now, even though he stated that he sold them all. I really do not believe that. I wouldn't be surprised if he sold an okay amount, but I would be shocked if he sold it all. However, the fork is scheduled to happen in about 1 week's time, 7 days or so. I still have a few days to research over the internet to see more about this. I haven't found a futures market yet for it, but it's concerning to note that they mention the fork and they say in 1.5 weeks or they're not giving much time to do so. Anyone can do a fork as long as you know how to program such. So with that, it really makes me question what's behind the motives and how this tangibly is in play. And with that kind of stuff, I don't know. I really don't know what to do within it. I know with Bitcoin Cash, there was a lot of time. I think it was close to a month. I think. It was, yes, because I remember it was early July. I don't remember exactly when, but I know it was a decent amount of time that they gave for that information. I remember Bittrex announcing, like, I think 7 to 10 days beforehand that they were going to accept that fork. So therefore, even Bitcoin Gold, I think, gave even more time than we're seeing with Litecoin Cash. Now, Charlie Lee says he doesn't support it. Well, obviously that's kind of not here or nor there, at least for short-term gain. However, there has been many poor forks before. I showed you this Litecoin Gold chart, which was started in, looks like, sometime in around Halloween. And it's basically worth nothing. There was a Bitcoin Unlimited last April, I think, or May. And I think it had okay value to start, but it just kept going down and down and down. I think Segwit 2X. I thought they said it was coming, never heard anything more about it, got nothing on it, and I guess it happened, and it's worth nothing or hardly anything at all. And I guess maybe what you have to do is give them your private key, which I wouldn't never give anyone such an item. At least the only way I could with a play like this is if I were again to remove all the funds to a wallet that is, to me, I'll call it a real genuine wallet, one that you actually use in your regular life. Then give what I call the fake temporary wallet that was used just for that short 1-2 day period of time, and then send it out. Okay, I'm going to now conclude this video. I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.